What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from Captain Marvel. The Quartering Central. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm down here with my boy Colt on my desk, my dog on the floor. That's just to extract likes from all of you, right? Whoa, little guy. You're done for the day now, Colty. He's going back to sleep. However, I've got two videos probably today. One, it looks like there is some rumor where now Brie Larson wants a lesbian romance for Captain Marvel and the MCU favorite. Interesting. Who could have foreseen this? Who could have foreseen this? Swapping her red, yellow, and blue costume for a whole rainbow flag of color, fans are increasingly asking Captain Marvel, is Captain Marvel gay in the MCU? Brie Larson has only just arrived on the scene as a long-awaited Carol Danvers, but of course we've got to wonder who she's sleeping with. That is the most important question in a superhero movie. Everybody knows that. But with a 7-movie arc ahead of her, there's plenty of time to explore her preferences. Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck's origin story was busy with Danvers' backstory, whether to ask if she prefers the company of men, women, or even flirkins. However, this isn't the first time viewers have noticed there could be an LGBTQ plus relationship on the horizon for the high-flying heroine. Oh boy, I can't wait. I feel like the movie, if you go by the critic score, it probably would have been 105 or 110 out of 100 if they had just been brave enough. If they had just been brave enough to spend time on who the superhero prefers in bed. Despite Larson previously highlighting the close relationship between Danvers and Lashana Lynch's Maria Rambeau, it looks like Maria could have some competition. Ooh, love triangle alert. When one fan shared her own artwork of Captain Marvel and Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie flying together, Larson couldn't help but share out the heartwarming scene. Aww. After Larson wrote, "We cute," Tessa Thompson, the Thor Ragnarok star, responded with, "What? We so cute?" It seems that it isn't just two of the MCU's leading lady who like the idea of Captain Marvel and Valkyrie sharing spandex outfits. Given the already queer undertones of Captain Marvel, there was an overwhelming amount of support for the perfect pairing. That's right. Gotta have it. Got to have it. You know that you can't have a superhero movie without wondering about, without having to state overtly, by the way, for the world to see that they enjoy the company of men or women. Considering that Larson is set to replace Robert Downey Jr., rest in pepperonis, and become the new face of the MCU, rest in pepperonis MCU, having an LGBTQ plus character at the forefront would mark a major milestone for the world's highest grossing franchise. It would also be another, and this is why they really want to do it, it would also be another middle finger to the trolls who slammed Captain Marvel ahead of its release and caused Rotten Tomatoes to change the way it works, its rating system. That's right. So when critics, you call them trolls, but when critics postulated, I thought that, it's interesting that why would Marvel want to push a narrative? You're now advocating for them to push a narrative. Okay. Now look, hey, who Captain Marvel likes to get down and dirty with is really, I don't care. Some of my gay fans, one of my gay fans reached out to me and let me know that when I said, what you do in your bedroom is your business, that's a little like it's a harken back to the way things were in the 70s or something. So I need to figure out a way to say that, like, I literally don't care. Maybe I'll put it that way. It's not important to me for whether or not someone is good or someone is someone I want to hang out with or if somebody is, it doesn't matter to me. I guess love is love. How about that? Now, is it important to have in a superhero movie? No, it's not. I don't think we've necessarily explored. Now, there's been like undertones of relationships in movies, and I think that that's okay. But to make it about that, to have to hit the viewer over the head with it is reductive. It is, of course, tokenism in the highest order. It is to get retweets, and I just don't care about personal relationships in my superhero movies. Now, maybe some people do, and that's okay. But it's not really important to the film. Yes, Iron Man has had that kind of undertones, and even Thor has, but it was never really important to the film, I don't think. I don't really wonder who Doctor Strange's love interest is. It's not really important, or the Incredible Hulk, or, Black Widow, Hawkeye. This is not an important thing in the movie. That's the thing. Marvel movies can exist without that kind of extra. I don't know. It's almost like that 80s or 90s. Like you must be saving somebody all the time, or you must have this extra fuel to do what is right or just. When you look at the Avengers, they aren't doing it for love. They're doing it because it's correct. It's right. It's what's, they're protecting. They don't need a love interest to drive what they're doing to make the right decisions. In the past, the candy-coated MCU has been criticized, sidelining the idea of same-sex relationships. Both Black Panther and Thor came under fire for axing LGBTQ plus relationships. Ironically, Ragnarok debacle came from one scene involving Thompson's Valkyrie, where it looked like her life was saved by her lesbian lover. Marvel studio boss Kevin Feige has promised more diversity in the MCU, which has already been backed up with their search for a gay actor to lead up the upcoming Eternals. Now, this is probably a pretty baity title. I don't really see her outright advocating for it. She retweeted it. I think, the way Brie Larson talks about men, it could make you think that she might be deeply closeted. I don't know. She obviously doesn't care for men in general. The way she goes about her business is obviously a romantic embrace type thing going on. Is it signaling that? Maybe. Usually the NPC variety will just come right out and say it because they don't understand nuance. Marvel is looking for a gay actor to play its latest superhero. Yes. Thankfully, finally. Not only do I need to know what is somebody's preference in the fictitious movie I'm watching, I also need to know what they do IRL. That's right. Having actors' preferences is important. Not, it doesn't matter if they play the role well or they're believable. It's what they choose to lay with at night that matters the most. Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe is finally moving. Finally, everybody's been asking with the times and looking to cast an openly gay actor as its latest superhero. To be honest with you, I've never thought about it. Given the high percentage of LGBT folks in Hollywood, I guess I've just always assumed some of them are gay in real life. Nobody cared that Neil Patrick Harris was gay in real life and played Barney Stinson, a womanizer, because he embodied that role. I didn't need to know what he does in real life. I don't care about Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know Neil Patrick Harris. I only knew Barney on How I Met Your Mother. I don't care about what Chris Hemsworth does outside of his inclusions in movies. I don't know him. I don't care. So obviously, despite James Gunn's exit from the MCU, he's now been returned. The Eternals will continue the franchise cosmic with an outer space adventure, which ties to Josh Brolin's Thanos and the characters known as the Eternals, our near-immortal race that first appeared in the 1976 comics. This is a deep cut. Deep cut. After first female presence in the likes of Ant-Man, the Wasp, Captain Marvel, what about What about Black Widow? Or how about Storm? Or, I mean, Jean Grey, which, by the way, Dark Phoenix looks amazing. The studio is keen to represent more minorities in the next phase of movies. A casting that call revealed that the hashtag show confirms the Eternals is looking for a gay actor to play one of its biggest roles. The set reports, as it turns out, the future is nearly upon us, and the studio searches for an actor 30 to 49 who physically looks like a superhero for one of the film leads. Isn't that discriminatory? I mean, it is, right? Imagine a casting call that said you must be straight. I would disavow that too. It has nothing to do with your ability to act. It has nothing to do with your ability to fill a role for a fictitious movie. It's not a part of the movie. And we all know that straight actors can play gay roles and vice versa. So who cares? This is purely for virtue signaling. Although the report reiterates that the studio is open to any ethnicity, the powers that be want the role to go to an openly gay actor. Where's the cast of the American Horror Story when you need them? You only have to look at the Marvel Comics to see the representation of LGBTQ rights. Characters like Hulking, Moondragon, and even Loki have come out of the closet. In contrast, the MCU has been called out for a lack of acceptance. Just because it's not there doesn't mean you don't accept it. This is just another iteration of really low IQ people who need to be told everything, who need to say like, well, you didn't openly say you're not, against something, so you must be against it. I mean, this is the same argument NPCs use against me on Twitter. Like, oh, he hates women because he doesn't constantly say he's a feminist or something like that. It's absurd. Only recently, Thor and Ragnarok and Black Panther slammed for excluding a romantic relationship. Yeah, somehow Black Panther still made $1 billion, so I guess it's okay. It's a changing of the guard as Kevin Feige rounds off Phase 3 of the MCU and Captain Marvel Avengers Endgame, as well as a new roster of heroes and villains expected in Phase 4. Beyond what it looks like, the franchise is heading in a new direction as it moves away from white male heterosexual characters like Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Thor, and Hulk. Well, I, for one, welcome our new gay overlords. I mean, this is what the narrative needs to be. Needs to be what we're talking about. Only recently Captain Marvel introduced its first drag queen superhero, or Marvel Comics. Thankfully, geez. I mean, can we just stop worrying about whether or not people are good actors and superheroes and just focus on what matters and what they do in their personal lives? That's what I need to know more about. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. We'll talk to you again real soon.